guys, and welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you for coming back if you've been here a while, and thank you if you're new here. I've just sat down to record this and Wesley just needs attention. We've just got back from a nice sunny walk, haven't we, babes? Did Paul? Oh wow, showed me up. This is like his best trick. Paul? Oh. Actually no, you can do bang bang, but anyway, never mind, I digress. So for this video, I thought I'd just do a little sit down and answer some questions. I did a question box on Instagram the other day, I think by the time I post this it might be like last week, but there was so many questions and I just didn't get a chance to go through them, like coming back from holiday, good old self-employed life. I've just been catching up and very, very busy, which is, you know, really good, really grateful for that. So I just thought I would answer them on here. And there's quite a lot of common questions and I feel like they might be helpful for your fitness journey as well. So without further ado, we'll just jump right in. So first one was, how do you still love on yourself when your tummy bump, weight fluctuations really impact you? So this for me now is a place where I would say for the most part, like 99% of the time, I feel fine about it. I understand that it's normal, I have accepted it, but it did take a long time to get to this point, and I do think it's doing a lot of inner work. And I know that sounds really kind of vague and airy-fairy, but I do just think that actually, and I believe, and there is a lot of stuff out there to support this, that actually showing up for yourself, having goals to work towards, you know, whether that be in exercise, with your nutrition, or both, that's how you build confidence, by setting a goal. And I'm so sorry, that is so distracting. You're gross. Licking his little sausage. The sausage. Little sausage, licking his little sausage. Minging. Why when we're on camera? Yeah, like basically setting out a goal and executing that, showing up for yourself. That's how you build confidence, because you prove to yourself that you can do things, you can do hard things. So that's kind of a way to action that, and also to start to have that self-awareness. Journaling really helps with this, like writing down how you feel, understanding, even keeping track of if it's at certain times of the month. And this is why I talk about your cycle a lot, because your inner critic will be a lot louder in the luteal phase before your period. So just having that awareness of, okay, I know this is going to be louder now. It doesn't necessarily make it any easier, but it's like, what can I do to make myself feel good in this moment? And that might be going for a walk. Oh my god, Wesley is just taking the mick today. Anyway, going for a walk, playing your favourite song, making your favourite meal, you know, calling your mum, speaking to her on the phone, ringing your best friend, or meeting your best friend for a catch up, going for breakfast, brunch, whatever it might be. Just something that you can do to make yourself feel good, and understand that you maybe it's not going to feel your greatest in that time, but what can I do to make myself feel better? Even just something like as simple as, I know that I'm not feeling my greatest right now. What can I wear to feel comfy? So I'm in my luteal phase, for example, now. I'm wearing something really comfy. I know that a tight outfit isn't great. I'm going to a christening this weekend. I know a tight outfit, a tight dress isn't what I'll get down south where we're going for the christening. If I took a tight outfit, I would be stressed. I would not enjoy myself. I'd spend the whole day probably feeling like not that comfortable. So I've just put in two options just in case, that are loose fitting, and we'll see how I feel on the day. I've tried them on and feel comfortable in them both, so I'm just going to see how I feel. So even just something as simple as that, like whether you're going to an event, have an occasion, or you're just kind of lounging around like I am now, it makes a massive difference just to you know, wear something that you feel good in. And just keep having that self-awareness. When you hear that negative voice, have even some affirmations in your phone that you can look at and just repeat them to yourself. Take a minute, and like the more that you hear it and try to silence it, and trying to do things that will, like I say, silence it, even just by doing things that will make you feel good, makes a big difference and helps over time. Like I say, I don't think you'll ever get rid of that completely, but it can help you to have a better understanding. Like I say, I have days where I don't feel my greatest, but they're like my go-to things. I'll make sure that I'm wearing something comfy. I will not let those thoughts win. I will still feel my body. I will move in a way that feels good. Exercise will always make you feel like, even just a walk, like getting outside, getting some movement in, those endorphins are real. It doesn't have to be a OTT, you know, like workout, whatever. So yeah, anyway, I won't waffle on too much more, but that would be what I would recommend for that, and just keep trusting the process because it does quieten down over time. Someone said, did I like Italy? I love Italy. So that's my second time in Italy. Me and Aaron went to Milan 2 years ago. We did Milan and Lake Como, and we fell in love. We actually did the voucher mystery holiday, right? Where you pay £99 and just see where you get given. We got this call and they basically said, like, they gave us a choice. So they'd said Gdansk in Poland, so sorry if I've pronounced that wrong, Ibiza, or Milan, and we fancied somewhere hot, so we decided not to do Poland, even though I really do want to go there. I've done Ibiza a couple of times, so we did Milan, and it was so good. It was one of our favourite holidays. So it was our second holiday together, and it was really, really good. Like I say, that I loved Italy and I loved Lake Como, and we said we will be back. And even now again, I mean, obviously it's very special now since we got engaged there, but I 100% want to see so many more places. I loved Rome. The food was amazing. It was just actually so beautiful for like a city. Like, I know it sounds silly, but I felt the same about Milan, to be fair. But I just love all the old buildings and stuff. I was definitely looking more forward to Amalfi, but I really loved Rome as well. And obviously Amalfi was amazing. Loved it. Really love Italy. Can't recommend it enough. And I will be back again to go and see some more places. So someone's asked, hormonal contraception or naturally tracking cycle to prevent pregnancy works. So this is very personal. I can't say what's right or wrong for you. I would say, like, I personally just don't want to be on contraception. I haven't been on contraception now for like 5.5 years. This works best for me. I track my cycle. I am careful. I use condoms still, and that's just what's worked for me. But some people would just prefer to have the pill as, or whatever other contraception, as a birth control method. Nothing is 100%. So, you know, I can't really answer this. I would say do what is best for you. There's no right or wrong with that. It's just kind of whatever feels good for you, really. Some people are fine on birth control and don't mind it. I just don't really like it personally, and feel so much better since being off it. So how do you stay motivated on low energy days or stay on track during travel? So I very rarely feel motivated, honestly. Like, I wake up most mornings and think, I don't want to go, don't want to do it, can't be bothered, can't be arsed. I'm giving myself a pep talk all the time, like, come on, you get this done. It's habit, and it's been a long time now for me that I've built this in as a habit, and it is just a part of my lifestyle now. And this is why I can't recommend enough like planning out and building these habits in, planning ahead. I still do it to this day. I plan on a weekend what my upcoming week's gonna look like, even though I pretty much have the same days. I do my workouts, like, so for example, I'll do like my upper bodies on a Monday, my first lower bodies on a Tuesday, rest day Wednesday, all this stuff. So it's normally the same each week, but I will still write it down in case the week changes, just to make sure I know where I'm at. That's my plan for the week. I do the same with my meals, all that stuff. So I have a plan, and that helps me in my head to be like, follow your plan, not your feelings. Now, I love that saying, and I definitely agree with it, because sometimes it is just me, you know, waking up first feeling tired, and I know I feel good after, but there is times where I think, you know what, let's switch the plan around a little bit. I'm not feeling my greatest, like my period might have just rocked up, or it might just be, you know, like have bad cramps this one particular month. Then I know, okay, look, I'm not being lazy, I just need to listen to my body, or I might still go and like drop the weight, whatever it might be. So there is an element of listening to your body, but having a plan, building things in as a habit, that really helps. And in terms of staying on track on holiday when traveling, I don't really, like, I mean, I definitely don't track when I'm on holiday. I don't care, if that makes sense. Like, this is a lifestyle for me. I'm not looking to be, you know, an Olympic athlete, a bodybuilder or anything like that. And that's no shade at anyone that wants to do that. I take my bloody hat off to you. It's just not for me. So for me, this is a lifestyle. I love food. I'm a big foodie. And when I go and travel somewhere new, I want to go and try all of that food, so you best believe I had all of the pizza and pasta and pistachio in Italy. And everywhere I go, I just love to try new food places. Like me and Aaron love that. And even here, every weekend we'll go and try like a new breakfast place after a run. Like it's just a thing we do. We love going to new restaurants and like eating out. It's very much our thing. So, you know, I just incorporate that in and focus on having a balance rather than, you know, like thinking I need to like eat clean or track all the time or whatever it might be. You know, for the most part, like when I'm in my day-to-day working and all that stuff, you know, like I have very balanced, nutritionally dense meals, but I always make room for like eating out and things like that. But in terms of when I go away, it's time I'm never going to get back. Who knows if I'd have the opportunity to go to that city or country again. I want to make, you know, the most of it. I am still mindful, you know, I mean, don't get us wrong, I definitely overeat and have big food babies, but at the end of the day, like what, the scales will fluctuate a bit, they'll come back down, who cares? Like, you know, and I do always actually take stuff to train in case I feel like it, but the last few holidays I have not done anything except walk. And I am, and I do find this even with clients, people tend to be more active with steps when they're on holiday, just walking around, like sightseeing, all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, God, in Italy, we averaged like 21,000 steps. We did loads. Even in Thailand, we were doing loads. And it just got like a point, like we're in Thailand for 3 weeks. We didn't even train at all. And it didn't really affect anything at all. So, you know, do what's best for you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to train or anything on holiday. I think it's just, for me, like I say, I love food and I just like to live life in the moment, especially when I'm away. It's nice to be out of the routine for a little bit, so that I feel fully rested. Anyway, how many years did it take for you to get to where you are now with your body and fitness? So, I mean, I could do a whole video on my fitness journey, to be fair, but just to keep it brief, I was actually very small. I always strive to be really skinny at the expense of my health. So I have actually gained a lot of weight. At some points I've been up to nearly 20 kg, but at the moment I'd say I'm probably up by about 12-ish kg, maybe a bit more, from when I was like at my smallest. So yeah, I feel like it's been years. I would say I officially started lifting weights. I've always been like really sporty. I was like the sports house captain at school. I played hockey for County Durham. Like I say, was like always really sporty and stuff, but I was always very cardio, and then I was very much in that cardio hit era. And then I started lifting weights, and it was my final year of uni, so like 2013, 2014. And then it just kind of went from there, and that still had a few like ebbs and flows, but that was when I started to gain weight. So that was, this is not very quick maths, 12 years ago. So yeah, I've been on my fitness journey a very long time. It's almost been like a life thing. Like I say, I've always been really active and really sporty, even as a kid, but yeah, 12 years of lifting weights, and that's how I got to where I am now. So next question, doubting that my menopausal stomach, is actually me getting fatter. Will it go away? So menopause is a tough one, and it can make you feel all of the PMS symptoms when, like, basically it's like being in the luteal phase, and I know that it can be really rough. I've got quite a lot of clients who are in like perimenopause, and it really is tough on your mental health. So I think it's important, first and foremost, to, again, like I mentioned earlier, not let that inner critic win. I would 100% start tracking certain symptoms, like even just trying to track your cycle, track your mood, track your energy, understand like when you're feeling like this, even just start to track some progress to see like if you know, like to try and differ if it is weight gain or if it is due to the menopause. Again, looking at lots of things other than the scale, because with you being perimenopause, this can be like water retention, the bloat. It's not actually fat gain. So really important to look at lots of different things. Obviously it may impact your measurements as well, but having some structure, having a plan, and monitoring your progress so you've got some actual data to go off can really help. Even getting a coach can help. Like, that doesn't have to be me, it could be somebody else, just to maybe give you that peace of mind, give you another set of eyes, and help you with this and through this like very challenging time. But as I say, really it's tough. anyway, but working on the mindset side of things and not letting those negative thoughts and that inner critic get too loud, because I know it can be so frustrating when you feel this way. But I think having something like to actually look at to get a definitive answer in your head, and then to actually help you, that's going to be the most beneficial thing, I think, for your mental health more than anything else. I'm just gonna have a quick drink of coffee, can. Oh. Right, next one, how can I help with snacking? So first and foremost, there's actually nothing wrong with snacking. Definitely nothing wrong with that. But one thing that can help if you're feeling like you're hungry and you're feeling the need to snack is to plan out your meals. Make sure that you've got protein. Build your meals around a protein source, including fats. Literally, as women, we are told to avoid fats. We need fats. Fats are for nutrient absorption, for hormone production. They are very, very important and will keep you feeling nice and full, as will fibre. Obviously you need some carbs in there as well, but fibre, really important. Your protein, your fats and your fibre are going to help to keep you feel full and satiated for hours. And also not skipping meals and going too long between meals can also help with this, and help to keep your blood sugars balanced, help to keep your hunger like nice and stable. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with having snacks at all. So plan out your meals and try and have like 3 kind of typical meals throughout the day where you're having protein, fats, fibre and carbs in that meal. And then if you want to add any snacks in there, if you feel the need to, then go for it. And even like if you're feeling the need like for some chocolate, for example, trying to have that like with some protein. So for example, you could add it to like a yogurt bowl with some berries, nuts and seeds and honey, then you've got a little bit of everything in there. Or after like a meal with some protein in, and then this can help to stop your blood sugar spiking and feeling the need for like more snacks or more chocolate later on. There's absolutely nothing wrong with just eating chocolate on its own, but that can just help if you feel like you're getting really snacky all the time and wanting to like, you know, constantly like reach for the chocolate or whatever. So I hope that helps with that. But planning ahead, I can't recommend it enough. It also saves a lot of money on your food shop as well, so you're not just buying whatever. So do you exercise during your menstrual cycle? What exercises are best? The best exercises are whatever you feel like. I think this differs from woman to woman and also month to month. So for some months, for me, my period, I might be on my period and I might feel up to do my workout. I might feel able to do progressions from the previous week. I might feel like I want to drop the weight and just have a bit of a lighter session. I might want to have a full rest. Or maybe do some yoga. Again, I think around this time of your cycle, listen to what feels good for you. There's like recommendations of doing something more gentle and restorative, like yin yoga, just some stretching, or even just some walking, or even just sleep, you know. But yeah, like they are kind of some things that would be recommended maybe, but again, just going off how you feel, like listening to your body. The more you listen to your body and you give it what it, like the more you listen to your body and that you keep practicing this over time, the easier this will become, and the more this will put trust into yourself, because you then start to give your body what it needs. And again, that even just like builds your confidence in yourself and you get much greater self-awareness. So that would be my advice for that. You don't necessarily have to keep like chopping your exercises and your workouts each week if you do not want to. If you want to still continue with your strength, even if you drop the weight for 1 week, it's, you know, still effective and efficient and you're not going to lose all your progress. So how do you know the difference between weight gain and water weight? So there's a little bit similar to the one I answered about even the perimenopause. I would track some symptoms, track like your progress, whatever it might be, look at lots of different things. So even if you are looking at the scales, look at your measurements, look at your energy, look at where you are in your cycle. This will help you to understand that. And I think the more like you kind of see the data, you kind of can understand the fluctuations in the scales a lot more. Again, even just getting someone to help you with this, like a qualified coach, can really help, because then they can help you to give you like a different perspective and help you to give you the knowledge and the education to understand that. Because this is something I really strive to help my clients with, because it's so many things can affect the scales, and I used to get so bogged down by that number, but now I understand that it's just fluctuation. I haven't just gained fat. It doesn't matter if that number goes up, it'll maybe come back down, and if it doesn't, who cares? It doesn't mean anything. I think about how I feel on the inside, which is the most important thing. But the more data you have, the easier it will become. So there's a lot of questions about bloating, to be fair. How do you, so there's like one here, how do you take anything to combat bloat? I don't take anything. I follow an 80-20 approach with my nutrition. Nutrition is really big for bloating. If you feel like certain foods might be triggering you to feel bloated, then it may be worth trying like an elimination diet and eliminating things one by one. This is a long, lengthy process, but that's the best way to kind of see and to keep a bit of a food diary and understanding what might be making you feel bloated. But if you are feeling bloated, basically, like I said, there's lots of questions here on bloating. There's certain bloating, like before your cycle, that's temporary, that's just your body's natural response, it goes away. As well, after eating a meal, your tummy's going to expand, that's normal. That's not necessarily bloating if your tummy's expanded, that's normal, it will go down. It's just, you know, your food's got to go somewhere. Like, that's, you know, normal. If you are bloated, especially if you're in pain for a lot of the time, it's consistent, I would definitely get this checked out. Make sure there's nothing underlying for peace of mind. And then, like I say, take a look at things like your movement, stress levels, how much sleep you're getting, make sure you're getting a sufficient amount of sleep, drinking enough water, and again, like I say, looking at your nutrition, like aiming for like an 80-20 balance, where basically that to me is 80% whole foods, so you know, your fruits, your veg, your protein, all that stuff, and then 20% your soul foods, so you know, your chocolate, your pizza, eating out, all that stuff. That for me is something that works really well to make sure that I'm not missing out on life, but giving my body all the good stuff, but also again, like feeding my mindset and having the joy of food. So I hope that helps with that. But yeah, like I say, in terms of your like bloat, like ongoing, consistent, painful bloating, not normal at all. So there's quite a few questions as well about the lower tummy bump and embracing that. So this one, for example, just says, best tip for embracing the stomach bump, I find it being my largest insecurity in photos. And like I say, just quite a few about the lower tummy bump. Again, this one for me was like, I mean, obviously, like looking back, it was so much smaller then compared to what it is for me now, especially since I've gained weight, which there's nothing wrong with, but I was so fixated on that. But I just feel as well, again, especially from like, you know, lifting weights, like running, like being in the health and fitness space, my body does so much more for me. And it's been a very big mindset shift. And again, it's took a long time, but my body does way more for me than how it looks. And I feel like it's just accepting that this is my body and this is me, and there's only one of me, which is actually quite cool if you think about it. And that's the same for you, like anyone watching, like there is nobody like out there like you, and your body does so much more for you than how it looks. And I think again, it's just for me kind of understanding that society and the media and stuff has demonized this lower tummy bump as a bad thing. But why did they just decided that? Like they've just decided, you know, like even like my legs have never been like particularly small. I'll never have a thigh gap because my bone structure is not built that way, but it was always demonized if you didn't have a thigh gap, like you have to be, you know, you have to have a thigh gap, sorry, to be pretty. And that was kind of like what I grew up with in my head. And it's crazy because, you know, like I say, my anatomy will never allow that. And I was like dangerously small, and I see this with a lot of women getting dangerously small, and you can't change your anatomy. It doesn't matter, like, you know, it's wild to me just because somebody decided a thigh gap was the definition of beauty. Like, no, beautiful comes in all shapes and sizes. Health, like healthy body, again, comes in all shapes and sizes. Like, we're all so different, and I think it's just understanding and accepting who you are. Stop comparing yourself to other people and appreciate your body for all of the amazing things that it does for you. Even just like normal things on a day-to-day basis, like my legs, my non-thigh gap legs, took me for a lovely sunny walk with my dog, my lovely beautiful Barky dog this morning, which was a lovely thing. I did a really good leg workout with Aaron this morning, like just, you know, simple day-to-day things, let alone other things, you know, like we climbed a volcano last week. Like, that's pretty cool. You know, it got me, my legs got me around Italy last week, like all these different things. So just trying to reframe your mindset really helps. Another question, do you see yourself with kids in the future. I do, to be fair. It's very weird, like even to be engaged, you know, there's a lot of lovely messages about the engagement as well, thank you so much. But anyway, I'll get onto that, I'm jumping ahead. But yeah, like I say, to be engaged, it feels surreal. I know I'm 33, I'm 34 in October this year, so like it's mad because I'm like one of the last out of my friends. Like pretty much all of my friends have kids now. Some are married, some are already engaged. Like I'm one of the last. I still don't feel old enough. Like even I see my friends with their kids and I'm like, how did this happen? Are we not going to town at the weekend? Like it's so funny, it's so weird. But yeah, like I definitely do want them at some point. And don't get us wrong, I do absolutely feel like quite often like I worry about like what if I leave it too late and the decision's taken out of my hands. Like that's something I don't want. But then I'm like, I don't want to have like, I mean, don't get us wrong, if it happened right now it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world at all, but you know, I just don't want the decision taken away from us. But as I say, I think like, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't want to rush into having a baby because I feel like I should and that I might not be able to, whereas like some women have kids in their 40s. Like you just never know. So I try to not put too much pressure on myself. Like I say, I mean, I didn't even think I'd be engaged right now. I don't know, it's one of them things, like I thought it was going to happen, but just feels like weird that it's happening now. So yeah, I definitely would like to at least have one child. You know, it sounds weird, but, or maybe it doesn't sound weird, but I would love to know what it feels like. I feel like it's actually insane that women can grow a whole human and birth them. Like, mental, we are amazing. You know, so yeah, I would love to know what it feels like. So hopefully, and then people asking about when we're getting married and stuff like that. I have no idea. The thought of having to plan a wedding on top of everything we've got to do, I'm like, very exciting and very lovely. I'm just enjoying the engagement bubble for now. And then, yeah, we'll get into all that. Also, lots of people asking how long me and Aaron have been together. It'll be 3 years this year, which is wild. Feels like forever. Next question, how effective are step-ups for glute growth? I would say they are one of the best, personally. Obviously there's lots of other factors to consider, like progressive overload, your nutrition, your recovery, all of that, and obviously your other exercise selection and stuff. But I would say they are one of the best. Cable step-ups as well. They are in my current program. I did that to myself and they are savage. So me and Aaron are training together at the minute, and poor Aaron. I mean, we both had very, very sore glutes this week. But yeah, Aaron was like, what the hell are you thinking? So yeah. Next question as well, do you still go through the phases if you're on the pill? And also asking how I track my cycle. I personally use the Clue app. There's loads of really good apps out there though. I would suggest to try a few. Quite a few do like free trials, see what works for you, but the more consistent you can be with tracking, the better. And if you go through phases on the pill, so you may experience similar symptoms because a lot of birth control, like the pill for example, will mimic the body's natural hormones via synthetic hormones. They won't be exactly the same. You can still track your cycle. I'm pretty sure the Clue app that I use, you can put in if you're on birth control. It can still be a way to track your cycle and have a bit of an understanding of where you are. Obviously, if you're on the pill where you bleed, it's just a withdrawal bleed, it's not an actual period, but you can use that as a point of your period for tracking. And that can kind of help you, and even just like I say, tracking your symptoms can kind of give you an understanding of what's happening when, to understand your body on the pill. So definitely always worth doing. So that's something that I'm asked about a lot. Okay, I'm gonna make this the last question. There's still loads. I've tried to cover quite a lot of, especially the common ones, but this one is tips to reignite your enjoyment for working out. So I actually experienced this quite recently at the start of this year. And like I say, you know, I've been on my fitness journey like over 12 years now. I definitely go through the ebbs and flows of this quite often. Well, not quite often, but every so often I would say. So, you know, it's happened a few times. I would say to, actually, funnily enough, I was talking to one of my clients about this yesterday. She just said she was just not really feeling it. So what I suggested to her was to switch it up. So she's been following like a body part split for quite some time now, I'd say over a year. So I said, why don't we just try something different? Like I asked her about it before I did it first, just to see what she thought. And I was like, let's try 3 full body workouts. And this is what I've done. I've switched things up a little bit, and it does just help. Like, give it a go, stick with it for a little bit, try some different things, try some classes, try some different forms of movement. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, switching out full body for body part split or vice versa. Because I've been doing full body for ages, and I've actually just gone back to a bit more of a body part split now again. And again, it's just kind of reignited my motivation and stuff, which was what I needed. It happens, and like, you know, I started weight training doing body part split. I thought I'd never like full body, and then I've been doing full body now for like maybe 2 years, and I still like it. I just thought I would switch it up a bit. And I'm actually really enjoying it again. So doing a body part split again, but even just incorporating different types of movement like bar, Pilates, yoga, running, even just like different types of classes. I know quite a lot of people are on like a high rocks hype right now, even just going to try a high rocks like class. Like, give it a go, like give some different classes a go, even if it's like, you know, like spinning or whatever it might be. It can just like help you to see like what your maybes would enjoy, and try to take a bit of pressure off having like a bit of structure for some time while you find what works for you. And then you can create a bit of a plan from there. But I think sometimes just switching it up can help. And even if you switch things up and you don't find anything, you might want to just go back to what you were doing before. It might just give you that little bit of boost, like, do you know what, actually this is what I enjoy. I just needed a bit of a break from it. And again, just taking regular breaks. Like I say, when I go on holiday, I just take that as a break. Like, I live and breathe all of this stuff all of the time, and it is my job now, which I'm so grateful for. But it is nice to just switch off from it all. And it does make us feel really motivated when I come back. Like, I was so ready for routine when I came back from my holiday. I was ready to get back to the gym. I was ready to get back into my normal like meals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think just having a breather from time to time really helps. Just taking a full week off. Like, I said this to another client just recently. Like, I just said, take a full week off, just go for walks, don't do any strength training, just have a full breather. And she said, she was like, actually this was ideal. She said she was nervous to do it, but she said this really helped, and I'm feeling raring to go again. And it does, again, you could even do this around your period, to just have like a chunk of time off. It does just really help, like every so often. Doesn't necessarily have to be every month, of course, but it can just help with stuff like this. So maybe taking a bit of a full breather, trying some new things, and it will come back. So just don't give up on it altogether. But yeah, I will leave it there, guys. I could talk for England, if you haven't already guessed by this video or any of my other videos, but I hope this helped. Like I say, I just wanted to cover some more of the questions, because I always feel bad when I can't answer them all. But I think I'm going to do another one again soon anyway. But I hope you've enjoyed this. There's been some helpful stuff in there. Any questions, as always, pop them below. Please like and subscribe to this. It really supports us. And yeah, thank you. I'll see you on the next one.